taking action in their business. I'm your host, Tara Omatosho, and today I am interviewing Thembi Depass. How are you doing today, Thembi?
I'm well, Tara. I'm thrilled to be here with you. Thank you.
Could you tell the listeners about who you are and what it is that you do?
Sure. I am the owner of Wellspring Therapy. I'm also a speech pathologist, and Wellspring offers educational support services to clients of all ages, but we do have an emphasis on children.
Great. How long have you been in business, Thembi?
I started Wellspring back in 1998, although I didn't do much with it. I just had the idea back then and I got my name trademarked back then, but I didn't really start to work on it full time until about 2010, somewhere around there.
Okay. So what made you want to start your own business? Because you could have easily just stayed and worked for someone or contracted through another company. So what made you want to start your own practice?
It's a funny story. I was in my late 30s and I don't know, I was feeling like I'm about to turn 40. 40 is a long time. What have I been doing for 40 years?
Right.
It was some kind of crisis that happened to me before I turned 40. So I ran a marathon. I had a baby. I started this practice because I really feel like I was searching for significance. I was looking for something that I could really put my mark on the world. And if your audience is mostly women, maybe some of them can, identify with this feeling like you live your life for everyone else. And I really wanted to do what I felt I was purposed to do.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I think that's the reason why one of the reasons why I might have started this program and interviewing women because I wanted to know like what is it that made some women want to start a business and other women not to. And I've heard that a lot as I'm interviewing more and more women. It's sort of like that crisis like okay, what's going to be said about me when I'm gone or what impact did I have on the world and that is for them to create these businesses and a lot of them have some awesome ideas where they probably should have done it earlier, but we were just doing things for other people.
Absolutely. It's
Yeah.
scary too. I mean, it took a lot of time and resources, but it was well worth it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, in regards to starting this business, what are two things that you would say, like looking back, that I would definitely do this again? Hands down, I would do this, and I would tell anyone to do this if they were to start a business.
Oh, absolutely. I would totally tell people to start their business, whatever's in their heart, but to be okay with flexibility. Like I said, I'm a speech therapist, but my practice isn't just speech. So we kind of evolved into where we are now because of flexibility for sure.
That's good. So you're in the what area are you located in?
We are mostly in Annapolis, but we see all of PG County and Anne Arundel County as well.
Okay. And is it an after school program that you have, or is it what is the other program that you have?
Oh, there are many different aspects to what we're doing. We do have an after school program, but we also have a preschool program. We have summer camps. We're starting to develop things for families and parents. So it's kind of the whole spectrum of educating children and their families. So the after school programs are all in Annapolis, but we do also see clients in their homes, which is where we go to other parts of the county.
Okay, okay. So you offer tutoring, or is it tutoring in the home or just speech therapy?
It's tutoring and speech therapy, occupational therapy. We're including behavioral health. We are also including some classes and training in nutrition. So it kind of is really whatever the family or community's needs are. That we develop a program for whatever they need, and so that's how it morphed into not just speech, but really whatever services a family would need in this realm of education.
And that's interesting that your name from your company is Wellspring. And if you think about a wellspring, it's like whatever you need is in that area. Is that why you called
Absolutely.
it? Is that why you called it that?
That is why. And I
Okay.
didn't know at the time, I'm just speeches. So that is kind of my wheelhouse. But I knew that there are many, many needs that people have and not just speech, or even if they have speech needs that they may meet those goals and require other services. So that is definitely why we are called Wellspring.
That's I just thought about that right then and there. I was like, that's probably why she called her business that. That's
Exactly.
that's good. So, and we'll go back to like some of the things that you learned since starting your business. What are three things that you would never do again? Like you tried it and you would not recommend anyone else to do it because it didn't work out for you.
Oh, that's a good question. I am really kind of like a go with the flow kind of person. And in business, that really doesn't work. You need a plan.
Yeah.
You need strategy. And so while I think it's important to be flexible, it's really important to kind of think through and make a solid business plan for anybody who wants to start a business. And I learned that the hard way. I also just, meet people that I like and I hire them in my company because they seem to, line up with our core values. And so it was important for me to think about what those values were and not just hire people because, I like them or because they're nice or because they said that they work well with children. So it's important to be strategic for people who want to start a business
Yeah.
and think things all the way through.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And yeah, you have to be strategic. And you cannot hire everybody. You cannot hire your friends. Sometimes it's best not to hire not friends, but people that you know because it might not work out for whatever reason. They might not be a good fit, and then you end up having to get rid of a friendship and
I know.
and in a situation where you do business together. So that's difficult. That's difficult.
Definitely, definitely. And while your friends, are very supportive, they should, be friends, be just that, and family as well.
Right.
Because, like you said, it could turn sticky very quickly.
Right. Exactly. So in regards to skills, because I mean you need some skills in order to start your own business or at least start thinking about things that you need to develop within yourself so that you can start a business. What are some skills that you think that are important for business owners to have?
Definitely number skills. So business at its core is about numbers, and usually people who are in a humanitarian business like mine or the service industry, have a big heart. But it's really really important to know your numbers and to have that down pat because that's what makes this business run really. And it's not only just the goodness of your heart, but the numbers you have to have skills in that area. I think you also need to have people skills, discernment in terms of the types of people that you bring into your company, because there are many people who say, oh, that's great, I want to work with your company, and like we said earlier, it's just not a good fit. So it's important to just have really good um, people finding skills,
Mm-hmm.
like understanding personality traits and really what your business needs at that time.
So how was it when you started this out? Did you start it just like as an individual, like a sole proprietor, and then you started getting contract? How did this really work out? Like if someone really wanted to, and they were in the helping field, say I was a mental health professional and I wanted to start my own business. How do I go about doing that?
That's a good question. That's exactly how I started. It was just me, and I have a license for my, for my industry. So if you, for example, the mental health provider has their license, and that's really all you need in this industry. You don't need a business license at first. So I started out by myself and I just went to people's homes, and it was basically by referral. So I started out doing home base. And from that, when you're in a home, you see a lot. You see the brother who's struggling reading. You see, the grandmother who might have some memory deficits. And so that's really how it started expanding based on, going into homes and communities and seeing what the needs were. Or families would ask, do you know somebody who does physical occupational therapy? Has someone who has a tutor? And so that's how we branched out. But I did start as an independent sole provider, and I had just one skill, and that was speech therapy.
Wow. So
Mhm.
did they pay cash at that time, or were you able to accept their insurance?
At the time, it was cash, but quickly I realized that people want to use their insurance. They pay their premium every month and they want to, make use of it. So it was hard for me to get in network with insurance companies. Most insurance companies want a large provider base. And so matter of applying to get in network. So we are in network with all the major insurance providers, and learning the insurance billing piece was a whole nother challenge. But there are lots of people out there who can help walk you through the process. So yes, I did start with just cash payments.
Okay, okay. I knew that was probably a question. A lot of people, it's like, okay, yeah, she started doing it by herself, but how did you transition from yourself to like hiring people and being able to pay them, what it is that they require payment, and being able
Mhm.
to get some of the income back from the insurance companies or from your clients themselves?
Yeah, I worked a full-time job when I first started. And so I decreased to part-time. I only worked there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And Tuesday and Thursday were Wellspring days. And the first days I woke up and got dressed and went down to my little home office and just sat there. I didn't know what direction to go. And thank God for the internet, because I found a lot of information just by online searches. And during those 2 days a week is when I got in network with most insurance companies. I sent, brochures and flyers to every pediatrician and pediatric dentist, to other therapy providers, to daycare providers. I just sent out my information like gangbusters to everyone out there. And then, eventually someone called, and that's when it started.
Wow.
But I did work my regular job still. So I didn't like just jump in with both feet,
Right.
which I'm grateful that I didn't. But some people have to do that. That's what some people choose to do. But I decided to start slowly.
Yeah, yeah. Some people are forced. It's like either greatness is sometimes forced upon you, and sometimes a door is closing and you see it closing, and you're trying to
That's
keep
right.
it open. You're like, please let me stay for a couple minutes, and they're like, no, because it's your time to go, and you really, really need to start something on your own.
That's right. That's exactly what I did. And I even saw clients in my home after I grew and grew, and people just didn't feel comfortable with me coming to their homes. I brought them to my home. And it wasn't even until, 2016 that, I got space that we use. And we also lease space and borrow space. So there really are a myriad of options out there when you're just starting that are low cost.
Yeah, that's good information. So, I mean, you talked a little bit about action steps, because that's usually the next question I ask, because, this is inspiring to action. I want people to be able to see this interview and say, oh, I can go do this today. So you said already that you reduced your schedule to part time in order for you to concentrate 2 days out of the week on your business. So that's one action step. Are there any other ones that you want to include to that?
I surround myself with amazing people, so people who have skills in areas that I don't. And so instead of me trying to be, the therapist and the accountant and the teacher, all the skills that I didn't have, I found people who had skills and who were strong in areas that I wasn't. And that was a little bit hard for me because, I think most entrepreneurs are go-getters and they say, I can do it, I can do everything. But that was a real downfall. And so having people on your team who are stronger than you, it's hard to not, be the leader, to be the best person. Not that you're not the leader, but that there are experts in areas that you are not an expert in, and to be okay with that and to surround yourself with people like that.
Yeah, because what ends up happening is you spread yourself too thin. You're trying to do too many things for too many people, and at the
It's
end
a,
of the day, you look up and nothing has gotten done
you're
because you're
exactly
trying to
right.
do everything yourself. Oh, I got this, I got to do this. So let me pencil this in. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work out like that.
That's right. And so everybody on your team has got to, be pulling their weight and adding something, bringing something to the table. And that has been a true, true blessing for me to have people around me who are just experts in what they do.
That's great. That's great. Thank you. Now, how can the listeners get in touch with you if they want to maybe talk to you about your services? They want to maybe find more information out. Maybe they want you to mentor them in regards to starting their own practice. How can they get in touch with you?
I'd be happy to speak with any of your listeners. The best way to contact me is through our website, wellspringtherapy.org, all one word, wellspringtherapy.org. And they can, click on the contact us, and I do get those directly, and I'd be happy to respond to any of them. On our website, they can also find information about our services.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk with the listeners about who you are and what it is that you do. I really appreciate you. And I even learned a whole lot through this interview. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.